What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Candid Convos for the second time. I don't know what's going on with the technology tonight, but listen, sometimes that's just how I go. Well, I said we appreciate you guys rocking with us. Like I said, we do the show every Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. So definitely like, share, and subscribe. So definitely run over to YouTube right now. Drop a subscribe on the Quay Price page. Just help us grow our subscriber base. And like I said, help us expand our reach to get to as many people as possible. So I said, once again, we appreciate you guys always rocking with us. And like I said, drop a comment. Oh, that must be you. Drop a comment. Let us know. Let us know where you're checking in from, just so we know where you're at, where you represent. But we are back in the game. Let's see, we got past the technical stuff, so we're gonna get back to this show. So let me start with some quick housekeeping real fast. We got to show love to some sponsors real quick. So let me do that. Then we're gonna get on into this show. All right. Shout out to sponsor number one, Two Sons Juice Co. It's a cold pressed juice company based in Metro Detroit. All natural, no preservatives, no chemicals, no trickery, none of that type of stuff. Like I said, so definitely go check them out. Like I said, they are a Black-owned company, service in Metro Detroit, delivering to you wherever you are at. So definitely, when you get a minute, go check them out. If you are definitely into cleanses and juices, definitely go check them out. The number Two Sons Juice Co.com. The number Two Sons Juice Co.com. And also our second sponsor, shout out to Havana Handbags. So once again, custom cigar box handbags for the ladies. So for any of our cigar aficionados out here, any of the ladies who like to, stand apart from the rest, definitely go check them out at HavanaHandbags.com. That is HAVANA handbags with an S.com. Listen, they got a little bit of something for all the ladies. They got a little bit of something for all the ladies, all the color combinations. Set your outfit off. So definitely go check them out when you get a minute. HavanaHandbags.com. All right.
Mr. Price, I wanted to show the ladies one of the bags. So this is the Ashton Gold. I just wanted to show it off real quick.
Oh, okay, go
the Ashton Gold. Let's see, ladies.
There it is.
Upgrade your clutch game.
There it is. That's gonna be the slogan. Upgrade your clutch game. Definitely go check that out at HavanaHandbags.com. Check in with Vince down there. Vince, you down there, man?
Hello.
What's going on with you, man? How you doing, man?
How are y'all tonight? I'm good.
You doing well, man. I'm trying to see if we get a chance to smell something tonight, man. What you got going on for us, man?
Well, I got Creed and Ventus.
Okay, there it is.
When I first got into luxury scents, this was one of my first. My wife said this is definitely the PD. She said I can't wear this unless we're together. Creed and Ventus at all your luxury stores.
There it is. So, ladies, you trying to get something special for your man? I said if you know what you know, what PD means, but if you're trying to get something special for your man, go ahead and cop that Creed.
You like that one, huh?
Yeah, there it is. I like that. All right. And just so y'all know, like I said, we added that segment to the show. Like I said, just to show some respect to the Godfather, Kevin Samuels, who everybody knows passed away. Well, I said, just a little fun segment that he used to do. Well, I said, and I think it's always you got to take the lessons out of everything, right? So, when Kevin used to do that segment, I thought that segment was very important, right? Because some of those things that he would highlight, if it be wearing ties, if it be your cologne, your scent, if it be your hygiene. Like I said, these are all things that are crucial or important for young men coming up. Yep, and I know some folks did not fully understand what he was doing or why he was doing that, but those are essentially lessons for the young fellas coming up in the game. You know, and then too, like I said, this is something that the ladies say all the time. Well, I want a man that smell good. Yep. So Kevin Samuels was putting them up on game, giving them the fragrance list, like, hey, put some of this in your repertoire. The ladies will love it. So, like I said, we've integrated that segment into the show. And like I said, hopefully, you know, some young fellas, as you know, folks share out the show, hopefully some young fellas can take some of these keys, add it into their toolbox, you know, thus giving them the foundation to be a more appealing, successful young man. So shout out to that. All right. So we got another good topic tonight, another needed topic. Like I said, as you guys know, I always get these videos that come my way. This is no different tonight, but I think it is a worthy conversation. So we're going to get on into it. So the topic for tonight is men pay the mortgage. Run that back. Topic for tonight, men pay the mortgage. All right. So yeah, when I first put this topic up, instant responses from some of the ladies. So we're gonna get on into this show. We're gonna see how the night go. But like I said, once again, I think it is a worthy conversation. So we're gonna have it. So I got to find the large format video. So let's see, we're gonna get into it. Let me throw this up.
All the time, like, yo, it's your, all this shit where it's like, yo, if you got a wife, let me preface this by saying if you got a wife, because this ain't just for any little, you know what I'm saying, situation, right? But if you got a wife, bro, like, it's man code, it's man law. You should be paying that mortgage. Pay the mortgage. You can let her pay the utility, you know, little shit there, but pay the mortgage, bare minimum at least. You know what I'm saying? Because this is your
man law shit right there.
That's man law shit. Man law number one, bro. Pay the rent, pay the mortgage. And they always be like, yo, but she got to come to the table, and she don't got to bring shit to the table when it comes to financially. Let me put this in perspective. If you require your woman to bring financial asset or gain to the table, you're telling her that, and she works in a corporate arena or in a position or in a business where it requires her to be masculine, you're asking her to maintain a level of masculinity throughout your relationship while also saying that I want you to be feminine. You want her to jump.
All right. So that's the video that's providing the context for tonight. Men pay the mortgage. Yeah, let me do one thing I almost forgot. So here's the link here to join the panel. If you feel so inclined, I know I'll mute it for a minute. I know folks, you know, sometimes are a little scared. Let's say you do have the ability to cut your camera off. Let's say, so drop that link in your Google Chrome, your Edge, on your Apple device. Like I said, join us on the panel. We always encourage you to come on the panel with us. It makes for a better show, better engagement. So I've got the link up on the screen. I've also got it in both of the chat feeds as well. So definitely come join us, and let's get into this conversation. You know what? Let me do one last thing real quick. Let me send a happy birthday out to one of our regulars, Janice. So she's got the birthday popping off today, turning 41, I think is the number. So like I said, happy birthday to Janice. Definitely would have liked her to be on the show tonight, because I know she was probably going to light it up. But I'm sure she's out enjoying her birthday. So happy birthday to Janice. I said one of Kandid Konvos regulars on the show. So shout out to that. All right, so let's circle back. So The video tonight comes from the Hardly Initiated podcast. The fellas sit down, they have, you know what I'm saying, some deep conversations around topics regarding the men and women, particularly black men and black women. And, you know, this video here is talking about men paying the mortgage. And if, you know, men have essentially financial expectations for their women or for their wives, then they're asking her to do too much in the space of masculine and feminine. So I wanted to get you guys input on that video, what you thought, if you agreed, if you didn't. I said, then we can get on into this conversation. I don't know, anybody want to kick it off?
Well, okay, as a woman, I guess my perspective is there is some truth there, right? Like I do believe there's some truth there. I want to preface this by saying that doesn't mean that I think that a situation, a relationship, especially a marriage, that there's something wrong if you have two working people. Like I'm not saying that. So I want to just preface this by saying that because everybody has to find a situation that works for them. But he does make some valid points because as someone who has worked in pretty much corporate jobs majority of her life and has gotten to the level of leadership, there's definitely a mental, emotional mindset that you have to put on, like a little bit of aggression and authority that you carry with you in those environments, especially when you are in leadership, or even if you're just leading a team, you know, like that it's just there. And it is, and without providing any type of justifications for women behavior, but it is sometimes hard to flip back and forth, right? It can be challenging, is what I'm saying. You have to be very intentional about it as a woman to make sure you're checking yourself, that you are leaving that where it's at, because it can be challenging. So a man who is like, and I'm speaking to the man who's looking for a woman, right? Who wants, this is him describing his potential mate. And he's saying, well, she has to come to the table with this financially. Like I'm expecting her to come to the table with this particular thing financially. Then yes, you basically are opening yourself up for the potential that this woman's going to bring that masculine energy. And then you now want her to figure out how to turn that off when she's with you. So you want her to be feminine and be in her feminine role, but you're also demanding that she, you know, put herself in a space that will at times have her taking on masculine characteristics. And you're saying, but I want both. Now, I'm not saying that a woman can't do both, but it is challenging and it takes practice. And you first have to be able to recognize it as well. So, you know, I would just say, if you're prepared to deal with that man, like if you're prepared to deal with what that actually looks like, you know, her maybe having those challenges, then fine. But, you know, I don't want to hear it when, you know, she's having a moment and you like, what's going on with you? And it's like, well, what you think going on with me? You know, like realistically. Now, that's not giving anybody a pass to say masculinity is okay. That's not giving a woman a pass to say you don't have to try because it's hard. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just simply saying there's validity there, that it can create that scenario. So you want to be careful that you're not expecting this woman to be able to do something that you wouldn't even be able to do. That's all I'm saying. You know, if a woman is put in this situation and you're saying this is what you want, then you have to understand there's a consequence. We say this on the show all the time. There's consequences to every action, right? So if you're saying this is what you want her to come to the table with, this financial piece, then you got to keep that same energy when she's having trouble managing that, right? That's all I'm saying.
Wait. Hold on.
Stop the cap.
Hold on. So let me ask this question. I'm gonna have to go ahead and stir this up because I got IT on here, so we're gonna have to go ahead and let loose tonight. Um, why do ladies feel like they gotta be masculine to work a job? I need
I don't
somebody.
think that's everybody. I don't think that's everybody, but that's. I feel like it. No,
No.
I don't feel like it's everybody. Every group of women doesn't feel like they have to be masculine.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to certain groups and certain roles, that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It
Okay.
does.
It does.
But that's not what the fellas here. So the fellas here is
That
when
was
the
it.
ladies are working jobs, they got to take on all these masculine characteristics to work this job. So I need to understand, why does a lady have to be masculine to work a job?
So it's not that a lady has to be masculine to.
I got to go a little farther.
Okay.
Oh my.
Oh, my bad.
I'm really looking for clarity. Thank you, Tweet Bell. Appreciate that. No, appreciate that. I'm looking for clarity as to what it really is.
Mm.
Yeah, is it really that a woman has to be masculine in working a job, or is it that she just don't want to work the job?
I don't think it's that she don't want to work the job. I think it's certain characteristics that are unfortunately needed to be in certain roles. And I was looking at this response saying that sound like a woman that comes from a single home. Not necessarily. Could there be some possibility to that? Yes. But if we speak about certain fields, the workload is a lot on a woman. And if it comes to you trying to push change, especially in a field that is male dominated, it is even tougher. Respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I got to stir this up a little bit. Let's say I can't let this be smooth tonight. I got to stir this up. Do you want to say something, Chloe?
Well, yeah, no, I also I'm trying to be careful with the like putting people in too many different boxes, right? And just being a bit more objective about it. Um as someone who, like, I worked in digital advertising, and advertising is demanding. Like, I think a lot more demanding than people think. Um and there's always deadlines, and there's always these really high expectations of what you can do in a short period of time, and people are looking at you, you know what I'm saying? They're looking at you for a lot, so sometimes it can make you a bit it can kind of put you on edge. And when you're dealing with a lot of men, like Nicole said, if it's a male dominated environment, or the only way you can kind of get ahead, that's another thing, that some industries are very competitive, very competitive. And as women, sometimes what can happen is you have to kind of go in there, you have to put almost like this shell on, because if you go in there too emotional, or you go in there too reactive to everything, or you go in there too sensitive, which is who we are, period, like in our nature. Like, we can be sensitive, we can be emotional, we can be those things as women, but there are environments where you cannot take that in there. They don't want to see that. They don't want to deal with it.
They don't want to hear it,
They don't want to
nothing
see
of
it.
it.
They want
I
to
want
see
to
it.
give an example. I want to give an example when you're done.
But yeah, no, like so this is not to make an excuse. I can only speak on my personal experience because I don't know anybody else's. But sometimes, yeah, that can be the case. And you can't come off like you can't handle it, or like you always got a problem, like you always whining or crying, something always wrong with you. So and so can do it, why can't you do it? And then, don't be somebody that got kids on top of it. Oh, sis, no, you a mama? Oh, okay, you can't handle the work then. You just can't do it. So these are the types of environments sometimes that you can be put in as a woman, and it can give you a little bit of a hard edge. And that's no cap, because I have no reason to lie about that. I did it for 9 years. So it's one of those things where you have to learn, like you literally have to teach yourself that's not who that version of me. Like that's not who I am. Like I don't even like having to do, like, you know, sometimes you don't even like having to say certain things or do certain things. It's not even you. You start
Yes,
taking on certain
exactly.
characteristics that aren't really you. Now, I'm
Yes.
not speaking for every woman. I can't speak for every woman. Some women are just masculine, period. And sometimes you get put in a situation where you become more masculine, and you have to go, oh, like, you know, but it takes somebody calling you out. The problem that I see though, and I'm gonna stop here so Nicole can, you know, but the problem that I see though is when someone brings it to your attention that you have this particular problem or you've developed this particular characteristic, are you actually going to do something about it? Or are you just going to say, well, I mean, it's just how I am and my job, my job, my job. I'm not saying that your job didn't play a factor into it. I'm simply saying now that you know it's a problem, are you going to do something about it? Because it is a problem. It is a problem.
Yeah, I feel that. Go ahead, Nicole, and then we're gonna circle over to Vince.
Okay, so I just wanted to give like two examples. I think both that kind of occurred today. So the first one kind of relating to um, the like masculine energy. So I was at work, um, and we had a weekly like call with our vendor, and our team, our developing upcoming team in Canada was here. So they were shadowing us on the call and how we would kind of deal with our vendor with tickets that they had open. And so when it came to questions that were directed on some things that I brought up, I wasn't getting the full information. So I, to me, calmly asked the initial question, but then the person kind of moved on. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Like, you know, let's circle back because that occurs often. And so while trying to explain the question, I had somebody else on my team trying to overtalk the process. And I'm like, well, excuse me, give me a second and let me fully explain. So me feeling like I have to now push out of my like natural quiet personality to get information, um, and the progress needed to make progress over something that um, the team leader is asking for. So, in that aspect of like trying to tell people to stop over talking me became frustrating. And then trying to communicate effectively what I need and why like it wasn't already um, completed when initially asked. At that point, you know, I'm communicating in a firm, direct way, like answer this specific thing so I can take this information back to the leader that's asking and in a timely fashion. So I do feel like on certain jobs to get certain places or at least to proclaim your spot in a team, you have to be that way. Otherwise, people just gonna over talk and kind of run over you. Now, the second example, what Chloe was kind of talking about in terms of feeling like, oh, you're taking on certain characteristics that you may not even recognize. So I brought up the culture issue that I've been experiencing with my boss, and his initial thing was, well, it's only been 2 hours since I like reset expectations with the team. So he was like, you're not even giving it a chance. Okay. And I'm like, it's not that I'm not giving a chance, it's that this immediate example came up, unfortunately, 2 hours after you reset expectations. And this turned into like a 15-minute conversation of, well, do you really think that is you? He's like, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to be transparent with you. Out of the 5 years that I've worked with this person, you're the only one that's bringing this issue up. And he's like, in one aspect, I find it very shocking because I haven't known this, but also, like, you are the only person bringing it up. Is it just you, or is it the whole team? And I'm like, well, to be transparent, the team isn't going to speak up. But I'm telling you, if we decide to have a honest face-to-face conversation about this, and you go to the team members and they don't honestly be transparent, then from there, I'm going to respectfully and professionally ask them to not bring it up to me again. Because now this is affecting me, and you guys aren't doing your job by speaking up. And it just appears that I'm just complaining. And that's pretty much what he said. So literally after, like, he saw my facial, like, expression, like, drop. And he kind of told me, he was like, I can tell by your, like, body language that you don't believe what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I don't believe. I'm saying that I honestly don't know what to professionally do. And after I walked out of that conversation, there was a sadness because I'm like, I feel like I have to now put on this professional face to keep focused on the business and the task at hand, and to literally take my eyes off of this issue.
I get that. Yeah, I understand that. No, those are some valid examples. Definitely some valid examples. But we're gonna circle back to that in a minute. I'm gonna get Vince in here. Vince, you what you want to say on this topic, man?
Well, I have two comments. Well, the one about the masculine energy at the workplace. I kind of want to define what masculine energy is, because most women have jobs that are female dominated. I work in the healthcare industry. I can count on one hand how many men I meet in a week. I'm talking about social workers, supports coordinators, therapists, licensing, all are women. We go to the hospital, all are women, except for maybe the doctor. But usually you have a nurse practitioner who is a woman. So I think that we kind of confuse masculine energy, with just being direct and being professional. Masculine energy is when you bring that energy home and try to dominate over your man. That's considered masculine energy. If you're at work and you're handling business and you're direct and professional, that's doing your job. So that's my issue on that. Now, the pay the mortgage thing. I think that in the context of marriage, since the mortgage is usually the biggest bill, and I think that's why men pay the mortgage, because that's the biggest bill, that's the lion's share of your finances, is usually your mortgage or your rent. So in the context of marriage, I think that men should be able to pay that, especially in a marriage, especially, when you're thinking about having children, because one thing that we don't talk about is when we start having children, do you really want to work? And I think a lot of women say, oh, I still want to work and I still want to do this. But then when that child comes into play, I think that's some of the problems that most people have, because we don't have that network. And I can see it in my own life, having a child later and not really needing anyone else to help me take care of our children, because we don't have, well, we do actually have, her parents are retired, but her mother is older. So we don't have the 2 or 3 grandparents who are retired. And, most of us have kids young, and our parents are still working. If you're in your 30s, your parents are probably in your 50s, they still working. So then it becomes the issue of trying to finance and still go to work. And most women, I think the ones who really want to be mothers, I think that's the issue too, who really want to be mothers don't want to hand their child over to daycare after 8 weeks and go back to work. I think most women feel very guilty about it. They don't want to do it, but because of the household finances, they have to do it. So, I raised my boys to be able to pay for everything. Try your best to be able to pay for everything when you get married, because you're the provider. It's your responsibility, especially when you're talking about having children. So that's my opinion on paying the mortgage.
Okay. All right, no, I appreciate that, man. Go ahead, Chloe.
I'm just gonna to clarify. In the industry that I was in, well, I won't say all. A lot of the people around me were women too. The problem was the leadership wasn't. The leadership wasn't. The leadership was always male dominated. So everybody around me, the people who worked under me, all of that, women, 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 until you got to the decision makers. And there were a handful of women that were decision makers, but the majority of the decision makers were men. And when you have to go to them for what you need, it's different. It's different. And I want to clarify that. I feel very strongly about this because I've experienced it. So you guys know I'm a big firm believer in everybody holding themselves accountable. Like, I'm not about to give nobody no passes. And I certainly don't want women to say, oh, I can just use my job as a justification for my behavior, because we're not doing that. We're not doing that. But at the same time, we're not going to act like these aren't very, very real circumstances that women face, because they are. Now, in terms of the mortgage, Vince is right. Like, a lot of women, I won't say all, but I do believe a lot of women do honestly go into it thinking they're going to be okay leaving that baby. And then it's time for them to leave the baby. And they're like, oh, I don't want to do this. I've experienced it as a mother. Like, I don't want to leave my baby, right? So I think that does create additional layer of stress for a woman. And sometimes that will come out in her attitude, and it may not have anything to do with masculine energy. So I think that definitely plays a role in it, right? So there is some truth to him saying men pay the mortgage, right? Like, and if we look at the mortgage as just a symbol and not just focus in on the mortgage itself, right? If we look at the mortgage as just being, if this is just a symbol, right? This is really, he's saying, men, this is your role, right? This is your responsibility. Basically, we're talking about a man providing. Men provide. So if we just say, instead of saying men pay the mortgage, we can say men provide. Like, the mortgage is just one piece of it. At the end of the day, like, it's a mindset. You guys know I always say that it's a mindset. Having a mindset of I'm going to pay the mortgage is having a mindset of I'm going to provide. I want to be able to provide. I want to be in that position. And as a man, I absolutely think that's the mindset you need to have. I just don't want men running around here, and I'm just gonna say this, talking about feminine, but then telling a woman, well, my biggest flex is gonna be having my wife sitting at the table with me because she done did this and she done did this and she done did that. And it's like, I'm confused. Is that your flex or hers? Let's talk about it now, because you can't have it both ways. Which way do you want it? Which way do you want it? Do you want her to be the nurturer, the homemaker, take care of the kids? Do you want that? That's what you want? Okay, because let me just tell you right now, doing both is exhausting. Oh, I'm having a moment where I want to be for real.
Okay,
it's flipping exhausting. Doing both is exhausting, because as a woman, what you are doing is you are sometimes assuming a position and a role, no cap, you weren't naturally designed for it. It doesn't mean you can't do it. So I don't want no ladies in the comments coming saying I'm a woman, I can do everything. I'm not saying you can't do it, sis. That's not what I said. What I said was you weren't physically designed to do those things. You were not emotionally equipped to do that. You weren't even mentally equipped to be doing both of those things. You weren't. You just weren't. But what's happened is we now are doing them, right? Because that's just the society we live in. And in some cases, that's just the position we are in, right? So, just sometimes I think like, I don't know. I think like sometimes we have to be,
What?
we have to really,
I'm
we have to
sorry.
look
I'm
at the
sorry.
symptoms. We have to look at the symptoms and not always the illness, right? Like, how did we get here? How did we get here?
Let me
So
get a
for me,
couple.
men pay the mortgage means men be the provider, men be the leaders.
Let me get a couple of these
That's
comments.
what I got from that.
Let me get a couple of these comments. So Tweet Bell, first comment she dropped, she said, if you split the mortgage / rent bills with your husband, or essentially, or is that your roommate?
Ooh.
Okay, I want to reply to that because I'm like, okay, maybe he. I'm sorry, Glenn. Sorry.
Hold on. She also said, growing up, my dad paid the bills, a double mortgage payment every month. My mom made sure the household flowed. Okay, yeah, I got a couple things I want to touch in here. She also said the man is the provider and leads the household.
Very true.
And then she also said a lot of these new age women are weak. She said you can still work and make sure your household flows. And then she dropped the excuses. All right, Nicole, go ahead.
Okay.
Then I got a couple.
Okay, so I had a question or comment about the first one. If you split the mortgage rent bills with your husband, wait, if you split the mortgage / rent bills with your husband, or that's your roommate, maybe just that's your roommate. My question is then what is the process to how you even demand that type of man, I guess, or how does he agree to that? Like you're not paying no bill? Because it says mortgage rent bills. So you're not paying nothing at all?
So I think essentially what she's saying is if you are splitting, I think if I'm reading it right, if you're splitting the bills with this guy, then that's more of a roommate. If this is your husband, then I'm assuming she's saying you're not splitting the bills if it's your husband. So essentially he's paying the bill. So that's what I'm getting from the comment. Let me know if I'm getting it right, Tweet. Oh, okay, yeah.
Awesome. So I guess for me, because I honestly don't know, my background is different. I mean, I did come from a single parent household, so I honestly have questions. With this aspect of getting a man to pay your mortgage, what is the process or what are the qualities that a woman even gets a man to do that? And I'm just honestly asking. No, seriously, I'm honestly asking.
I'm sorry. It's just funny. I'm sorry.
I can answer that. That loops into a couple of her comments.
Right, I didn't get to the rest. I just started at the first one.
Yeah. No doubt. No, let's say this is a culmination right here in her comments. And it's telling a very important story, right? Or at least I'm hearing a very important story. And she, dropped another one. She said a man will automatically do that. So I think this is the thing. And I think this is the question that I'm going to present. Question to the ladies. Ladies, how do y'all want this to go? So going back to the young fella's video, he's talking about, if you have a wife, you should pay the mortgage, right? So handle the heavy load, the heavy workload, right? Chloe added it in or made an addition to it and said that is, essentially a man providing, right? But we've got situations where men are trying to do that and women ain't trying to align with that. So the reason why I asked the question, ladies, how do you want this to go? Because essentially this is what it is. So to answer your question, Nicole, the way that you get a man to do that is you be a feminine woman. He gonna take care of that. But at the same time, like I said, a lot of ladies today, not all ladies, but a lot of ladies today ain't trying to put down they working gloves to be no housewife and be provided for.
Say that.
So that's why I'm more so asking about the process, and this is me being fully transparent. Like, what
No, I feel you. I'm
the
going there.
comments are. I know the comments is a little kind of too much.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I'm going there.
I'm like, just at this point, just kind of be a little bit of a mentor and maybe provide some more context to how that's going to be. Not just saying that a man is just going to provide that. Like, if you got, you know, have to.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing is like I said, once again, we are back to positions, we are back to roles. Yeah, we are basically in a day and age now where all of that stuff is out of whack. Yeah, but dude comes into the picture and says, okay, sis, I'm gonna handle all these bills. I want you to stay home and take care of the kids. And then, young lady responds, no, I don't want to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, then we got situations going on where the fella, he's taking care of the bills, doing all the heavy lifting. The young lady is working a job, and he's like, okay, sis, since you're getting that check over there, why don't you help, with some of the investments and some of the fund money? And she like, no, this my money.
Okay, now in my situation, that second scenario, I would be fully on board for it. But I feel like that scenario hasn't been presented. I'm just saying.
Wait. The second
I'm
scenario,
just saying.
what you mean you'd be on board for it?
If I'm using my money for like investments and stuff like that, I would be good with that.
Okay, no doubt. No, I'm just giving you a couple of the scenarios that exist, right? Because we got all different types of things going on out here. So yeah, I'm just trying to give you a couple scenarios that tie into this conversation, because at the end of the day, there is a design, there is a flow on how these things were designed to go. I know we've all put our own little spins on everything, and I know we like to say what works best in your house, in this particular person's household. So we put all our little spins on these things. But there is a design and a flow to all of this. But now we've got all these variables. Yeah, but that's why I had to ask the question earlier, ladies, how do you want this to go? Yeah, because at the end of the day, when the dude comes your way and say, okay, going back to the topic, I'm going to pay this mortgage, then your response should be complimentary to what he's saying, or complementary to what he's saying. But that's not a lot of what we see in these days. So yeah, I'm gonna circle back because I got a lot more to say. I appreciate them comments, Tweet. But I want to go to Vince. I know you wanted to say something. Go ahead, Vince.
Well, we also have to take into the fact that we're marrying later. When back in the day, our grandparents were getting married at 19, 20, 21. So they didn't have a lot of the debt and some of the bills that we trying to come together when we're in our 30s. And so it's harder for a man to pay a mortgage if you're getting married to someone who says she went to college, she has college debt. Now if you're 31, 32, they probably have a child. So you have that debt, you have credit card debt, then he has his own debts. So a lot of men don't make enough to be able to pay all the bills or the majority of the bills. Just stop the cap. They don't, because we wait too long in life to whereas we got too many bills. Now, if you're 20 and you living in a 1-bedroom apartment and he working at Ford and you working down at the Chick-fil-A, yeah, he can pay all the bills. And then y'all grow together. And then his value is more than just his money. See, we got to get back to value. Value is not just money. Providing is not just financial providing.
Right.
So we always partner provider with money, not provider with vision, provider with focus. Because we also have to understand is that you could be in your purpose, in your vision, and your job just doesn't make that type of money. Right. If I'm a teacher and my wife is head of HR, she's gonna make more money than me.
Right.
If she's a RN, or if she's even a hairstylist, she's going to make more money than me. I'm in my
Right.
vision, I'm in my purpose, but teachers just don't make that much. I don't care if you got a master's degree.
Right.
So, but if we get together young, we build together, it's not your money, my money, just like the lady up top said. Well, I'll be probably investing my money, but when you get together early enough, it's y'all money.
Right.
It's our money.
Right. That's true.
And so I think that's a large part of the issue, is that we wait too long in these situations, and our natural ability is we're going to have male energy and female energy. We're going to be men and we're going to be women. I have not met one woman who wants to spend her own money. Not like we spend it after she made it. Now, if we get together and you working days, I'm working nights, you know, the man is helping me go back to school and get my RN because I started as a little clinical tech, and now his value is more than that, because I wouldn't have been an RN if it wasn't for him. So then his value is more than just what the money he's bringing to the table. But if I'm already an RN, I already got my house, I already got my kid, then yeah, you got to come with more than that, because your value hasn't been set. So I think women over a certain age are delusional to think that a man is going to come in and pay all the bills. Because most of them, I mean, come on. It don't happen for most. Y'all got to split the bills and just go on up the road. Whoever make the most money, y'all get one account and say, okay, it depends on who make the most. You put 60 in there. We total up the bills. If they 3,000, then you put 1,500 and I put 1,500, or you put 2,000 and I put 1,200. Because if you want a man, that's how it's gonna go.
Right.
It's impossible for you to think that a man is gonna come in and pay all of a $300,000 mortgage, all the 2-car notes, all of your bills. You know, if you got a kid, you got to pay for the kid like it's his. I don't care if y'all getting child support. He still got to pay for that kid, because most women don't understand. If you buy a house, if the woman has a child, you can't buy a 1-bedroom house. Usually, if a man has a child, y'all ain't buying no house for his kids, because they're only coming over every weekend, every other weekend. They can sleep in a room or somewhere else. But your kid is there. If I go buy a pizza, I got to buy a large pizza. I can't just buy a pizza for me and you. If I buy a house, if we buy a house, we got to have a room for your child. My children, man. I mean, come on, let's just keep it real.
That's real. Well, I'm trying to understand.
I don't disagree.
Most, I mean, if you look at it, most people, if he got kids, if she got kids, it's not an empty room for his kids. If his kids ain't there, the room is empty, because that's his kids' room.
Right. No, I mean, you
Her kids got the room.
That's fact.
That's
fact.
yeah.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. Yeah, I agree.
Let's just stop the cap with this. Man, go pay the mortgage unless you 22, fine, fit, fine, no kids. You get that out your head. You got to come in with the half.
Oh my God! Quiet.
Wait. So
Now don't take my situation, because my situation is very different. I know you gonna ask me. My situation is different.
No. Actually, I don't disagree with any of the things that you said. Really, I mean, I don't. I would just say, for me, like, you know, because there's been a lot of comments, and I know Tweet made a comment about a lot of new age women are weak, like, you know, in reference to, you know, you could still work and make sure your household flows. So I did it for 15 years. So I'm speaking from experience, and yes, you can still work and make sure that your household flows. What I said was, it's exhausting.
Yes.
So I feel like we need to talk, like, if we're going to have that conversation, let's have that conversation. Let's be real about it. Let's be real. Let's go ahead and say what working full time in a demanding job and managing your home, where you not just, you know, coming in and you just doing something, like where you're managing your home where everybody have what they need and your kids have you? What does that look like and what does that feel like? What does it actually look like and what does it actually feel like? Because if mom and dad are both working full-time demanding jobs, let's just be honest. If both mom and dad is doing that, now I know this is the way life is, so I'm not judging. I've done it. I'm simply saying let's be honest about what that looked like. That means that who has time? Who has the focus on the kids? When is the focus on the children? Let's be honest about this thing. What does that look like? And are you okay as the mom? I'm gonna take that out this for a second. Okay, because you birthed these babies. Or
Right.
how do you feel about that? Because I know what that looked like. I've done it. Long time. So, I mean, my oldest is a teenager. High school. So we having these conversations because it's important to have them. You have to do what you have to do to make your household flow. So if that looks like both of y'all got to work because, hey, that's just a financial situation, then that's what it is. You do the very best that you can. Okay? There's no judgment coming from me. All I'm saying is that we have to be realistic about what this actually looks like. We have to be realistic.
Let me ask this.
Go ahead.
Boss, let me ask this question. This is the real question. Is there a difference between our generation and generation prior?
I would say so.
It's very different, right? So a lot of us came from moms and dads who both worked. Not all of us. Not all of us.
No.
Not all of us. But typically there was a working parent. Not all of us came from dad was the only one working, mom was at home. Like I said, I know there's a chunk of us who came from mom was working, dad was working. All right. Mom still worked and still took care of home. So I'm just wondering, do we feel like there's a difference between that time and this time now? Or
I think
that man and woman and the man and woman of 2022?
Yeah, women are tired.
Very.
Women are tired. Like, women are tired. Like, I think what's happened is we've created a society of women who have told themselves that they got to perform at a certain level, right? Like, let's think about the jobs that our moms had. Like, my mom didn't work for most of like her children's lives. She started working later after we was all in school and all situated and everything, right? So she was a housewife for the majority of, the time. Even when she did get a job, her job was very flexible, right? It was a part-time, flexible type of situation because she still needed to be able to do certain things for us, even though we were in school, right? Maybe, our moms had, maybe, another person's mom had a sit-down job, where it wasn't a super stressful, wasn't a very high demanding type of job, right? She can go work her little 9 to 5 if she needed to leave early or whatever. Everything was good. It was good. It was all fine. That's not really all of our situations. Like now in this society, because of the cost of living, because of the situations and everything, the way everything is, like those, and also because of the greed and the capitalism, and now I can't, $150,000 house is just not enough. I need the $400,000 house. I need the $500,000 house. I need a $1.5 million house. So because of that, now we want to work. Everybody want a 6-figure job. Everybody want a job where they getting the bag. Everybody trying to get the bag. So when you trying to be at an income level like that, that comes with more responsibility. It comes with more pressure, and it absorbs more of your time. Flat out. I'm saying this because I know it. Like you literally, when they paying you like that, oh, they expect a certain amount of your time. The closer you get to that 6 figures, they want a certain amount of your time. They want it, and they gonna get it, or you ain't gonna work there.
Period.
Point blank, and the periods. So as a woman, I'm trying to keep up with that level. And at the same time, because I'm a woman who care about where my kids is at and what they're doing, I'm also trying to make sure I create an environment for them where they can thrive. And I'm just going to be honest. At that level, you can get burned out of that. Period. This is real life facts. Some women are looking at it like, I'm tired of operating at this level. Like, this is a lot. Now, I can't speak for the woman who just lazy, because we got plenty of them. But I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the one that's like, I'm trying to operate my family. I'm not trying to let my family suffer. So I'm trying to give them the same kind of energy I'm giving my job. And it's burning me out. I'm tired. I don't want to do it no more. Point blank in the period. Now, I don't know. Y'all talk to them women that's out there that just want to be sent up on some man and whatever. I don't know them women. I'm talking about the women that's like, I'm out here trying to do something. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to support my family. I want to bring, I want my family to thrive. I want us to be in a good neighborhood. I want good schools. I want this stuff. So I'm doing this for my family, but at the same time, I'm tired. Period. Point blank, period. I understand, all women, some of that stuff, like, I hate to say it, but women, we do it to ourselves. We do it to each other. Making somebody feel some type of way because of their truth. It's like, look, hey, guess what? It is what it is. It is going to be what it be.
Okay. You want to say something?
Another question. Now, Chloe, are you talking about that in the context of a marriage, or are you talking about that as a single woman that needs to provide for her kids and work, or are you talking about being a wife and having to work and provide?
Oh, no. I'm specifically talking about it. It's like we're talking about, like the gentleman said in the video, he's talking about your wife, like that. I'm talking about in that scenario. I'm not talking about a woman who like she's the only breadwinner, like, so she got to do what she got to do. That's a completely different conversation, and I understand that. What else can she possibly do? I'm speaking in the context of somebody that's in a marriage that's trying to figure out how to make that dynamic.
And you know what? It seems to me, because I know a lot of those situations where, and I think that when you're in a marriage, somebody has to take a back seat. And it can be the man or the woman. Because if you're a high achieving, high earning woman that has it'll be crazy for you to sit at home. If the finances aren't there for that. So I know men who will take a part-time job or a lesser job and be at home more. And their wives, because I know men right now who are these quote unquote soccer dads, but their wives are in, higher level careers. I'm not talking about a social worker or I'm talking about high level VPs of companies. Whereas that's their career. They're not no regular job, but they grew it up together, so he can still be lesser in the financial and still get the respect. See, that's the problem that we're missing here a lot of times. It's the respect. You will never, and you will never know that she made more money than he did if you just was in their presence, because she still treated him like the king of the castle, because her money was their money. And see, I think that's where we're missing when we come to these situations about bills and about finances, is that it's almost like we setting it up destined to fail, because especially for your higher earning women, the type of man that you want needs something. They don't need your money. So you working all this, I had it in my own experiences as a single man. A lot of these ladies will say, well, Vince, why did you get married to her? I said, because she had time for me. She made time for me. I had to fit into your schedule. I don't have to deal with that. You know, you a realtor and a teacher and you sell bundles and you got no time for me. So that's why you get that lesser dude. And I think a lot of women need to settle for that lesser dude. I think that's what really would work for them. But they're women and we're men. I think these lesser average men, I'm saying average men, would be great for these higher earning women, these higher achieving boss chicks, because they, you know, but they don't want them type of men. And I feel for the ladies, I really do. They don't want to go to you know, to the restaurant and get the bill.
Yeah, but Vince, so we gotta go there.
Come on.
We gotta go there though, Vince, because see, my guy Winfrey, he just dropped a comment right here. He said the monetary role in a relationship should not define the respect in the marriage. And Vince, we gotta keep it a buck, man. We gotta keep it a buck.
Come on.
We know good and well that the monetary definitely affects the level of respect. Yeah,
it's not supposed to be that way.
No. And I agree with you. I agree with you. It's not supposed to be that way, but that's the way that it is. Because at the end of the day, I'm sure we got a lot of, I don't know where all these viewers came from. We got a whole bunch of viewers.
They were like, wait, let me stop what I'm doing.
I know it's a chunk of ladies in here right now. Ladies, I need y'all to keep it a buck, ladies. How are y'all looking at y'all man? Keep it real.
Okay, Shantae.
How are y'all looking at y'all man if you making all the money and he's staying home being a soccer dad? I need y'all to keep it real. How y'all looking at him? Do you respect him the same way that you would if he was making majority of the money and you were the soccer mom? Keep it real. How you looking at your man if you making a majority of the money and basically he's the stay-at-home dad? Keep it real, lady.
I feel like the situation depends. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
You have to prerequisite with you had the money before him. See, that's the key.
True. I feel that.
That's your money. You made it. You went to school. You exactly. It's your money that you brought into the relationship.
Exactly.
Then can you look at him that way? Not y'all built it together. Not when y'all was in college and he helped you through school and now just your career just blossomed faster than his and it was just a smart thing to do. See, that's the key. If you coming into it 6 figures and he coming into it at 30,000, well, I'll give him 40,000.
Give me 40, man.
I give him 30. I give him 40.
Jesus.
I give him 40 and I give her 120.
Oh Lord.
Go ahead, Nicole.
So in a scenario where the woman is earning more and the guy is a soccer dad, I believe my exception would be if the house is absolutely taken care of, like you not just sitting at home doing nothing, and you know stuff in the house needs to be done. If it's taken care of and the kids are well attended to, then I can deal with that because they're not going without. But if you at home doing nothing, that's not. I'm serious because I'm thinking about daycare costs, which is so expensive. I don't have a child, and I know how expensive it is. I'm like, this is crazy. This is insane.
Stop the cap.
Insane. Quiet. I'm serious. If the house, no, seriously, if the house is
So it's like college tuition.
Seriously, it's insane. Now, if the house is absolutely being taken care of and the kids are well attended to, they're not going without, homework is done, all that type of stuff, then I can give an exception. But other than that, no, I am looking at him crazy.
Go ahead,
okay, say that same man. Would you come home and cook for him every day? Would you come home and if his babe, my feet hurt, would you rub his feet?
Honestly, yes, because I do that now. So
stop the cap.
Stop.
You do. Wait a minute. You do that now. Wait a minute. You do that now. Well, now give me your business. Okay. I don't think so.
I don't see it as it being an issue. How about that? Let me reword. I don't see that as being an issue.
All right, let me get this comment because there was a lot of
Not the cap.
going on that last
I'm
one. So
done with you.
let me get this comment real quick.
Oh
Let's see.
my.
Let's see. Shantae said, because women focus so much on the financial stability, the emotional and spiritual gets put on the back burner.
Okay, can we give claps for that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. So please, let's give claps for that. So Shantae, please correct me if I'm wrong, right? But you do mean like you mean when a woman only prioritizes financial over other things. Is that how I'm reading it like that? Like you mean if a woman is focused primarily on the financial, then those things get kind of pushed to the back. This is kind of what I was saying earlier when I was saying, not, and this is no dig at working moms, because like I said, I've been the working, like I'm not digging at y'all. I'm just simply saying sometimes it can get to the point where you are focused so much on that things they just naturally fall to the background. It's not even that you might not even necessarily be aiming at that or purposely doing that, right? Like it just, you can't do everything at the same level. You just realistically, it doesn't work. And when you try, that's when the burnout comes in. That's when the crash starts to happen, because it's just not realistic. So that's all that was the point that I was making. Like you can't, I know as women, we want to say we can just do everything. We can do everything. The problem is, what does doing everything look like over the course of time? Like, what does that actually start to realistically look like for you? I mean, let's just be honest about that thing.
All right, so let me get this comment. I gotta go in on tweet real quick. Tweet just said something. We gotta touch this. She said a man is supposed to make a woman's life easier. A woman is supposed to be about the care of herself before marriage. So Tweet, I got a question. So you know something. Because I said I'm in a lot of these conversations. I need to know something. So what is the woman supposed to do in the man's life? I hear this a lot right here. I hear that the man is supposed to make the woman's life easier. So what is the woman supposed to do in the man's life? Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think on that. Shantae also dropped a comment. She said, men can make less money and pour into a woman more than a man that make more, and is just there for you financially. Okay, I feel that. No, that's valid right there. That definitely can happen. Let's see, Winfrey, he said men and women have to care for themselves before marriage. A woman should also make a man's life easier. Okay, no, that's facts. That's facts.
That's facts.
Let's see, Tweet said that goes both ways. Okay, Tweet, yeah, no, I agree with you, Tweet. But that's not what I be hearing out in these streets. Yeah, what I hear out in these streets is the women want the men to make their lives easier. But when it comes, full circle or the other way around, they ain't worried about doing nothing for these dudes. I'm really trying to understand what is the woman's role in these situations now, especially when we start going down the path of marriage. Because I'm hearing all different types of versions and variations. I'm hearing the differences of what the wife is supposed to do once she's married. I'm hearing all type of different stuff. And consistency is becoming less and less and less across our versions. So yeah, I'm really just trying to understand what is that supposed to look like in current day, if you will. Let's see. Tweet also said a man just really want to feel appreciated and needed. No, that's fact. Let's see. Winfrey said typically someone is getting taken care of at first, then the man gets care after committing.
What?
It's kind of real right there, Winfrey. I don't know, man. You might want to smoke tonight.
Winfred, I need you to expand, please.
I don't know.
Can't
Comment
stand
on that
that.
comment.
Let me
Please.
Yeah.
I need the
slide
roles.
that
Who's
on.
getting taken care of and who's
Right.
taken care of
I
after they
need,
committed?
you know,
Be
I
more
need
specific there,
details.
please.
Winfrey, they want the smoke, Winfrey. They
Hit
want the
us with
smoke,
the
man. You know what you got to do. You know what you got to do, man. Listen, Pete Bell said a lot of these women don't know how to cook and need to lose. All right, you know what? Let me get on the applause for that.
That's true. It's true.
You know what, Tweet? I appreciate this comment right here. She right. Yeah, we got a decent amount of ladies out here with these attitudes. Ladies, y'all really trying to get married out here. Lose the attitude. Yeah, real talk. Like I said, I'm in a lot of these conversations, and that is one of the things, or two of the things that I hear a lot from fellas these days. They don't want no combative women. They don't want no argumentative women, and they don't want no woman with no attitude. We hear that all the time. But man, shout out to that comment right there. Shout out to that comment. Winfrey, they coming for you, bro. They say you want the smoke. We all coming for you. Winfrey, we need more info. Yeah, I don't know, bro. You might need to let me throw that link. Yeah, look at the link right there, man. You might need to get on and explain yourself, bro.
Okay, wait. So you asked the question though. You asked the question, right? So like what is women what are women supposed to do? Like what's our portion, right? What is our portion? And I don't know if this answer is acceptable to all men because I've heard similar responses like this given to men before when they've asked this question, and some have dismissed it. But I think that for me, this is about each person knowing their role and position, just natural role and position. I understand in society we've had to switch things and convolute things, but just our natural roles as they were intended, right? If you are that provider and I am your helpmate, then that means when you bring home the bacon, I fry it up. It means that when you bring home the finances, I figure out a way to increase them, right? And to take those finances that you bring home and make a life out of the provision that you've provided, right? It means that if you buy a house, I turn it into a home, right? It means that when you plant your seed, I replicate your DNA and I create the legacy, right? So that is what that looks like, practically speaking. That's what our roles are. The problem is in this society, of course, it's life. It's different now. We're not talking about the same situations and scenarios. And like Vince said, we're marrying later. We're not, we're not dating the same way. We're not dating with intention. All of these things factor into some of the situations that we see ourselves with now. But that's the intention. That's the intention, right? We are to increase. So all this talk about what women bring to the table, the problem is you have to provide the table first. I got what you need once you give me the table. You want to know what I'm bringing to the table? Give me the table first. You have to supply that. See, that's not what I do. I don't do that. I don't make the table. Okay. I don't purchase the table. That's you. Okay. I decorate it and I put the things on the table, but you need to bring it to me. So we need to own our roles. And I think we've gotten out of that. And that's why it's so much confusion about who bringing what to the table, what all of these things. Is if we were to own our roles and the masculine and the feminine knew how to come together properly, then some of these conversations we're having, we wouldn't be having them. Like, it's really not that hard, nor is it that confusing. The problem is nobody wants to own their role. Nobody wants to, know their place and then stay in it. Just period.
I feel that. But you're talking about having to go all the way back to the foundation, right? Because at the end of the day, like I said, we always gonna keep it a buck on this show. So it is what it is. So to the audience, we always gonna keep it a buck. Some of the things that you just said, we have ladies today that don't even want to hear those things. So we have ladies today who hear, know your role. They like, nah, I'm good. We hear, we got situations today where somebody says, feminine woman, and the lady like, nah, I ain't doing that. You're talking about taking it back to the foundation. Because I don't think even a lot of folks today understand some of the things that you just said. Yeah, right now we got a lot of masculine. So the man come in the house masculine, the woman come in the house masculine, and now everybody's sword fighting. Like we got a lot of that going on. Yeah, we got a lot of situations where, we have men trying to lead the household and, we got the woman trying to overlead the man. Like we got a lot of stuff going on that is foundational. And I wonder how many folks understand what these things actually are and what their importance is in our relationships. And then too, the second piece of that is do folks even want to do those things? Like let's keep it above. Like, do folks even want to do those things? Do the men really want to fully be men? Do the women fully want to be women?
I'll make a comment to that. I don't. I would say the generation under. I say you guys' generation because I'm 50. I don't know how old you guys are, but I think the problem is that they don't really want to. Men think that they're men just because they have male parts, because their mother usually have told them that they were men in the house and they weren't paying no bills. They weren't doing nothing in the house but being a male. But they raised their daughters. Take care of yourself. Don't depend on no man. And so you have a man that will go from his mama's house to his girlfriend's house. That's usually where it's going now. I don't know if you pay attention to the young guys. They're going from their mama's house to their girlfriend's house, and then a few months after that, she the baby mama. But then they want the respect, but you didn't come in as a leader. You didn't come in as the head. So you can't change it around after it's done. So I think that a lot of times our nature as men and women will come out, and that's where we're bucking, because especially black men have not been taught by their fathers to take care of business. They've been taught by their mamas, they cute, and ooh, you got a little girlfriend at 5 or 6 years old, and you the man at 5 or 6 and ain't paying no bills, can't take out the garbage good, can't do nothing but be a boy.
Right.
And then they expect for some woman to take care of him. Well, I'm a man. You should. No. You got to be the man to get the man. That's why I said you have to be the boss to be the boss. And so a lot of these men, they want the respect, but they're not doing what they need to do in a lot of instances. So
yeah, no, I feel that. Let me touch something real quick. Like I said, that I'm gonna circle back to Winfrey because I got to read out his comment. So Shantae dropped this comment and she said, wait, femininity can be confused. She said, I'm an alpha, but I know how and when to be submissive. So Shantae, I got a question. Don't take this personal because I've heard this before, but I need somebody to explain it to me. What is that? What is an alpha female? Like I hear that a lot these days. Women saying that they are alphas, and I'm trying to understand what is an alpha female? Like how does somebody explain it to me? Go ahead,
I got a follow-up question for what you just said. In addition to for the second purpose you said, this is just honest question because I really want to know. When she said, but I know how and when to be submissive, are you only know it because the guy is significantly has a, I guess, even stronger personality, so it forces you to be? Like that was the follow-up question.
Okay. No, I feel that question because I said that would be my question as well. So the first one is what is an alpha female? I don't know what that is or how that exists. And my second question is femininity and submissive go hand in hand.
Yes.
So I'm trying to figure out
Yep.
how do you turn it on and off? Like I'm
You
trying to
can't.
understand.
Real femininity cannot be turned off. Just
Okay,
point
yeah, I
blank
just
and period.
want to know. So yeah,
Real
Shantae, drop a
femininity,
response.
femininity
Shantae,
cannot be
if you're
turned
still
off.
on here. I want to understand the alpha piece, and then, like I said, turning on the femininity and the submissiveness. You know, like I'm just trying to understand because I hear that a lot in the conversations that I'm in.
Yeah,
But while she responds, or if she has time to respond, I want to circle back to Winfred. I see he just popped up on the panel. I'm gonna go back to what he was saying. He dropped a long comment. I'm gonna read it out. He said, men don't receive much benefit during the dating courting stage. Initially, the man exercises his inner husband throughout the entire relationship. That's the only way we are even taken seriously. Women nowadays tend to only exercise their inner wife after a man shows he's willing to commit 100%, such as a marriage path or lifelong partnership. It's a double standard. And yeah, you know what, Winfred?
Yeah.
I gotta agree with you on that, man. And the reason I say that is I saw a video about that particular point that you just made, and it was some truths in that in those statements. So now I gotta agree with you on that. But you want to say something on that, Winfred? I know they was bringing you the smoke, bro.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure how if I clarified enough. But yeah, I'm just saying that, you know, when we date as a man, like Chloe said, you know, we got to even bring the table, right? And if you're someone who believes in like marriage and that's the path that you want to be on, as a man, you got to flex all of that throughout, from the very jump, to be considered, to be looked at, to be dealt with or considered for a longer period of time. You also have to, you know, continually do this. Whereas I have noticed, at least in my generation, amongst dating as of recent, you may come across someone to whereas, you know, if the conversation is food, every time we go out, you know, I'm a gentleman. Things are covered by me. But if you mention cooking and I say, hey, that sounds good, you know, I'd like to try that someday. Oh, my grandma said you should never feed a man. I'm not ever cooking for a man before I got a ring. Or you hear little things like that, and I'm like, so how are you expecting me to really show you that I have these qualities? I can fix your house, I can cater to your lawn, I can help you relax and massage you know what I'm saying, provide this financially, whatever. But then on the other foot, you still holding back cards. Like, I mean, hey, if we both holding back, then let's say that. But as long as it's understood that it's a double standard, somebody like myself is like, hey, I live with it. I understand because I know what the kind of relationship is that I want. And I understand this is kind of just, you know, one of those lessons of how it is. I always say boys learn rejection first. Women learn acceptance in a whole different manner than boys. And so I'm used to this, but I just wanted to put that out there. That's my 2 cents.
So I don't know who grandmama said that. It wasn't mine. But I mean, it may have been on the lines of, well, if he's like, maybe if he's paying for groceries, then gladly make that meal. I mean, something more so along on those lines. But
no,
I mean, if you, just telling you no, that's
so it was just
worthy of it. I don't know.
Right. So it was a thing where she's just, you know, she's been taught, right? She's been conditioned to hold back, to withhold certain things until again, that man is 100% yours, right? He's committed completely. And it's not every woman. I date plenty of women and don't encounter that. But the fact that it still occurs, I was just pointing out that that's a subset of some mindsets. Like,
So Winfred, let me just give it a name, right? Because that is going on. Let me give it a name. So that's described as women should not be doing wifely duties. So that's how what you're talking about right there is described in these current conversations that I be in. Women should not be doing wifely duties, but yet
okay.
when men have to represent or they have to show husbandly duties in order to get the quote unquote confirmation of the woman that you are worthy of to be a husband. So that's what I hear that in a lot of these conversations.
Thank you for defining that. All of y'all heard it, everybody live here in direct. Thank you, because more people need to say it. And it's not so much that it's a problem, but let's not act like that's not what it is.
For sure.
Go ahead, Vince.
Let me go to Vince. Vince was next, and we go to Corey. Go ahead, Vince.
Well, if I put you up on game, bro, don't let her fool you like that. That's not what it is. What wifely duties is having your children. Wifely duties is not cooking or cleaning. You know what I'm saying? That's because, bro, she tried to play you. That's what it was.
Facts. That was short lived.
Because if that's what she naturally does, she's going to naturally do it. It's not going to even be a question. That's what we got to understand. People who are naturally feminine, a man who's a natural provider, it comes natural. I'm just not a provider in this relationship or that relationship, or she just not feminine in this relationship. My wife, before we got married, she cooked and cleaned every day for a bum dude because that's who she was. It wasn't because it was wifely duties. Well, that's who she was. So when I first went over her house, it was the smell good. She had the plug-ins. The house was immaculate. She made because that's what she does. So if that's what you require, then they should do that from the jump, especially when you're a high value man. She need to be looking at what you need, not what she gonna do. She need to be, if you need a meal, she need to be going to Kroger before you get meal out of your mouth.
So
and you got to be a certain type of man to require that. Don't require, oh, you ain't cooking me no milk. Check, please. Check.
Oh, not the check.
I'm gonna let you go and keep on moving.
Don't ask for the check, Ben.
Check. You go about your business.
Okay, and to expand on that, like this is silly to me. What the young people say? I'm not young like that. So what the young people say? This goofy. That's what they say. It's goofy for a woman to say that she won't cook a meal for you because that's a wife's duty, but she letting you split her cheeks.
Oh,
I'm sorry, that's goofy. So she
Hey, just to clarify, I didn't specify whether I was or was not physical with this woman.
I'm so sorry. Let me not do that. I'm not talking specifically about Winfrey. I'm saying in general, like, because like Quay said, there have been women who have said things like this, and I'm just simply saying, but they sleeping with the dude. But they will say, oh, but I can't cook for you. I can't wash your clothes. I can't clean. I can't do that, though, because that's wife stuff. But having sex, splitting your legs, and potentially getting pregnant by this man is not wifely duty, though. See how it's so confused right now? Why are we so confused? So you won't cook this man a meal to show him that you could potentially be wifely material, but you gonna let him split your cheeks. I mean, make it make sense.
Bruh.
there it is. We're going to call the split cheeks from here on out. I told you we keep it a buck on this show, man. I said ain't no holding back on this show. We keep it all the way real, bro. Go ahead, Vince.
I would say if this girl is, I don't know how old you are, Winifred, but if this girl not 25, a virgin, then what she talking about? She ain't cooking me. That's cap. Because if she not no virgin, then what you mean you not stuff before marriage? Now if she a virgin and she 22 and pure as the white as snow, then I would believe that. But unless she's that, she running game. Because I bet you she did it for somebody else.
Oh yeah, trust and believe. That was a very short-lived interaction. Definitely one of the quick, as you said, I'll get the check now kind of situations. We didn't do the second thing I had planned, you know what I'm saying, after the meal. So had to kind of cut that one short. It's not worth it. I recognize that, hey, as a man, I bring a value, and as a woman, you bring a value. And if we're going to start this off that imbalanced and just flat out unfair, it's not fair at all. And it's not reasonable to me either. So with that being my standard, you know, that was short lived. And I'm 31.
You sound like a great young man.
Thank you.
Stay on your kingdom, stay in your purpose, stay in your drive, and a queen will recognize that and come and be your inspiration.
Lord willing, I'm
Oh,
working on myself now every day.
great.
You just went for. You said you was 31, man.
Yeah, I'll be 32 next year.
Okay, so let me say this real quick.
Yeah.
Man, when I was 31, man, females wasn't talking like that, man. Like what, man? What's going on out here?
I had a different expectation for dating at 31 as well. I thought we were more aligned on we're trying to go all in, and if this isn't the person to go all in with, you go to the next. But you know, we're all taking each other serious, but that's not the case at all. It's not the dating pool. Some people are like, oh, the dating pool has pee in it. No, like it's a real thing. Like it's tough, but you find people with similar values and morals early on in your like communications, and those are the only ones that you can, you know, continue to engage with. But otherwise, everybody's like Chloe was saying, you know, trying to split cheeks, or you trying to just have fun for the summer, right? You don't want to necessarily commit, but you want to deal with like a good guy or something along those lines, or you whatever the case is. People have all their different ulterior motives to date, but at 31, it does not mean that anyone is dating to be married or take some serious commitment whatsoever. That has to be explicitly explained and spoken out and agreed upon, because if you don't, you will definitely end up in one of these situationships, and if that's not what you're looking for, it's a hell of a life. So yeah.
Okay, no,
Ooh,
I got questions, man, because this is concerning. Some of the stuff I'm hearing, like I said, Winfrey said he is 31 years old. And I'm gonna circle back and get Shantae's comment. He said he is 31 years old. I said that's a young fella, and what he just said, ladies wasn't talking like that when I was 31. They was not talking like that at all. Like I said, this is concerning to hear some of the things that I'm hearing from the young folks. Like this what they dealing with now. Like when I came through, yeah, I was trying to show my husbandly characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my wife, she was showing her wifely characteristics. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what is this stuff we doing now? Like,
Mm-hmm.
isn't that a part of the process? Like, how do you get to know? How do you get to vet? Like Chloe said. So we going, you know, we splitting cheeks, but you can't cook my man. Like, what the? You know, now I'm starting to understand. But let me circle back because I don't want to overlook Shantae's comment. I think this was to my question about an alpha female and turning on the submissiveness or the femininity, turning it on and off. She said, I don't feel like I'm real feminine. I'm aggressive, but with a man that is worth it. Uh-oh. Shantae. Here we go. I got questions now. For a man that is worth it, I am very gentle. Yeah, I got questions. While the world thinks I'm the life of the party, my man knows me as a mother and as a woman that cares for the household. Even my social media, even my social media is me being social. I don't post pictures of me helping my child doing homework or my man's plate before I give it to them. Okay, now I feel this comment, Shantae. I got questions though based on the things that you said. You said that I am aggressive, but with a man that is worth it, I am very gentle. Okay, so you tuning it or you turning it down a little bit with the man that is worth it. But then you said, while the world thinks I'm the life of the party, my man knows me as the mother woman that cares for the household. So my question is, why does the man have to be worth it for you to be gentle? Like why is you being gentle or feminine conditional? You got to answer that for me because I hear this a lot. And I'm trying to figure out where it comes from. So typically women are supposed to be naturally feminine. I said, now, let me just say this real quick. I'm not coming for you, Shantae.
No.
I'm just trying to ask these questions, you know, because we do have viewers, we got ladies on the show, we got men on the show. And I'm trying to ask these questions because these points or these topics come up all the time. So like I said, I want to have these conversations so we all can hear this information and share our perspectives, right? But as I understand it, you know, women are supposed to be feminine or gentle naturally. So why withhold that from the world until a man is worth it? Yeah, so I'm just curious. I'm just trying to get a better understanding of what it is. We got a lot of comments coming in. Let's see, Tony Sims. She said the world is tumbling down. The bad is being recognized as good.
That's facts.
And that's all facts. That's all facts. Yeah, things that are bad are now good, and things that are good are now bad. So that is all facts. I agree with you, Tony, on that. See, Tweet Bill. She said the problem is people don't take the time to find out how a person was raised or who raised them. That will tell a lot. That's true as well, Tweet. I mean, I think a lot of folks these days, and we're seeing in the outcomes, a lot of folks have put real vetting on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just all the way on the back burner. Like you remember how when you was a kid, you know what I'm saying, you was out at let's just say the Detroit River, and used to poke that little toe. You poke it out there on that water, test that water out before you stepped in that water. Folks don't do that no more. They just dive in. With Chloe, they dive in the cheeks. They don't vet. they don't do none of that no more. I don't even know if dating today is actually dating. Better yet, I don't even know if there's any intentionalness behind dating these days.
Hooking up.
Yeah, like I don't know. We're per se situationships. I think that's about what it is today.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bell said a man don't want to deal with an aggressive woman. He wants a feminine woman. Okay, now I can feel that. Let's see. Shantae responded. She says, let's see, someone I feel has potential, not just someone I'm having fun with. It's levels on what I give. I'm single. I can't give my all to all of them.
I mean, that's a valid point. You can't give your all to anybody that you're dating unless you're serious about, unless there's some intention. Unless there's some intention there, like you actually see yourself maybe being with this person. But at the same time, how is a man going to know you, going to know the potential of you, if you don't expose him to some of those layers, right? Like, why make that man potentially have to suffer, in a sense? And I'm not saying you're doing this, but just in a sense, because maybe you're being guarded because of situations that have happened in the past or something that has gone on before. You may have a valid reason, but it might not be completely fair to the other person, right? Like, I think if we all did a little bit more of what Quay was saying, and Vincent said it before, being more intentional about the people that we even entertain. Like, if you want to be somebody married, I don't know how much fun dating you should really be doing, to be honest. You should be dating with intention, because then you won't have to worry about, well, I'm only going to do this with this guy, but I'm going to do this with this guy, right? Because at the end of the day, generally speaking, I'm speaking to anyone who this fits for. If it don't fit for you, child, throw it away. But I think that you have to, we have to think about that. We need to be more intentional. That's why Winfred is having the problems that he's having dating. Like, it shouldn't be this difficult. It just shouldn't be this hard. We're making it complicated, by creating all of these dynamics. We don't need to have all of these dynamics. I don't want to cook for you. I don't want to clean for you. I only want to show you this side of me. I only want to show you that side of me. Or, sometimes I just feel like we just team too much out here. And the things that we should be being more guarded about, like our bodies, we tend to give those things away like it's nothing. And I want to say about the whole splitting cheeks thing, I do not own the patent or the trademark for that. I did hear that on another show, by the way. So there you go.
Go ahead, Vince. Then we're gonna go to Winfred right after you, man.
Okay, I think one of the problems too is that we back in, like, for me, I've always wanted to be married because I see my grandparents and how they lived their life, and I was raised in the church where most of the people were married. So I always wanted that to be the end goal of any relationship that I had that was serious. And when it didn't come out to that, then I left it and trying to find that. I think today in this new generation, we have to understand that these kids are not seeing marriage. Mama single, grandmama single, auntie single, granddaddy dead, because that was one of the men of the family was granddaddy. He dead. Uncles ain't around, daddy ain't around. They don't value marriage like we did. They don't really see the purpose of marriage until it almost get too late. That's why you have more 40-year-old women talk about they want to be married with 3 kids later, but when they were 25, they didn't want to get married. But now that they're 40, they understand the value of marriage, the value of a husband, the value of having somebody, because you creeping up on them later years, and now it's almost too late.
Yeah.
And the men are not being trained to be fathers. So I think we're going to have a generation like Egypt where we just going to have to let them die out. The parents of the smaller kids are going to have to really, because there's so much information out there now. And even with the dating and courting thing, people don't understand. Courting means that this man went to court, which means he stood before your daddy, your uncles, your brothers, and he had to make a case for your hand. And it was just one woman. It wasn't 5 or 6 women. So we can either stop saying courting. We're not courting because we're not trying to get married. We're just having sex and dating. We're not courting.
Okay.
I want to be courted. No, you don't want to be courted, because after courting is marriage.
Yes.
So if you don't want to get married, then you don't want to be courted.
Okay.
There it is. Lesson.
Okay, Vince.
Good, Winfred, you still on there, man?
Yeah. I'm over here taking down notes. Thank you for that lesson, Vince. I had no clue. So yeah, that's my ignorance. But no, I just wanted to chime in on the comment. It said something along the lines of like, no man wants an aggressive ass woman or something, right?
I'll find it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me not misquote it. If you can pop that up.
Tweet.
Yeah, that was tweet. Hold on. Let me where's that comment at?
A man don't want to deal with.
Yeah, man don't want to deal with an aggressive woman. He wants a feminine woman. So yes, he wants a feminine woman, absolutely. But aggressive, I couldn't say that per se. I find myself doing the best with the quote unquote mean ones, or the standoffish women, the ones the ones that tend to be what you would call aggressive. Like I don't know. I think some people are for some people and others just are not. But there's a group of folks that do well with aggressive, partners, and some that do not. I think it's a thing. I hear you. I'm just saying, I don't. It's people for the aggressive folks.
It's somebody for everybody.
Yeah, they don't have to change and not be aggressive to get somebody, because it's somebody.
Yeah, Let me stop you there, bro. Yeah, they do. Because
100%.
I'm gonna tell you this, Winifred. People, because my issue with people they say they want something, but you gotta give that person what they want. Because there's somebody out here for everybody. You gotta give that person what they want. An aggressive woman usually can't deal with the aggressive man. It's like two yangs. You need a yin and a yang, not two yangs, not two yins. You have masculine energy and you have female energy. Even with homosexual relationships, you have a masculine and a feminine most of the time. You don't have usually two masculine men or two masculine women. You have usually a female, a feminine woman and a masculine woman. So the aggressiveness shouldn't even come into play when you talk about a relationship with a man. Now, if you're talking about a job, that's different. Now, you can be aggressive in your job. That means you're doing your job. But aggressive for a woman with a man, it doesn't. I don't see how that can work.
Yeah, I wasn't pointing out aggressiveness in the individual's relationship necessarily. I just mean like the common view of them. If you're like, oh, you know this person at work as an aggressive woman, I'm like, that doesn't mean that they're, that necessarily in a relationship 100% and whatnot.
Let me say this. That's some of them. That's some of them young fellas right there. I'm gonna give you about 10 years, Winfred. I'm gonna see if you still be talking like that. About 10 years.
Oh no, I'm gonna be a kept man by then.
Okay.
All right, so I know we've been running.
It's
almost 10:30. I know we've been running, but I gotta ask one last question. We're gonna take some closing statement. Shantae dropped this comment, and she said, "That's the problem, Chloe. I'm not ready for marriage." Shantae, keep it a book, keep it real with me. Why are you not ready for marriage? Yeah, real talk. Why you not ready for marriage? Drop a comment, let me know. I'm just curious to see what your response is to that. Let me take some closing statements. I'm gonna see if Shantae get that response in before we wrap. But I'm gonna work to the ladies first and work our way around. Let me go to IT first because she got quiet on us. IT, you got anything you want to say in closing before we get out of here?
Just that this was an interesting topic, and I definitely took some notes here on the side, for sure. And yes, as Shantae said, I'm still figuring it out. So.
Okay, hold up.
Oh Lord, here we go.
What y'all figuring out? What y'all figuring out? Let me understand that. Because that's a double standard. Because y'all will say to a man, "What you waiting for? What's the hold up? What's taking so long?" So now I gotta ask y'all. Now I gotta ask y'all the same question. What you figuring out? What y'all trying to figure out?
Me personally, I am shedding the aspects that probably would not make me suitable for marriage and relearning. So that's my process. I can't speak to anybody.
Okay, I got you. No, I understand. We done had conversations, so I understand what you're saying. I got to mess with y'all tonight. Like I said, it's just one of them type of shows tonight. I got to mess with y'all. Let me. Is that all you wanted to say in closing? Or you good?
That was it.
Okay. All right, Chloe. You got anything you want to say in closing?
Just a little. So Shantae asked a question earlier about how long the married people on the panel have been married. So, we've been married for 15 years, together for 21 years. So how I approach these topics is at the end of the day, right? Like I can speak about certain topics because I'm not out here as someone who hasn't had experiences. Um, I've had a lot of different roles over the course of the 15 years of my marriage. And so my perspective is really just coming from that, and then I have women around me who haven't had that experience. Some still aren't married, have children, or whatever the case may be. So I try to be as objective about it as well, but I'm also always going to bring it back to the cross. So when I'm always going to bring it back to the cross because I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. So at the end of the day, when I talk about foundational stuff like a man and a woman's role and our natural role and position that we were our God ordained role, whether you believe or not, I mean, it doesn't mean it's not, it is what it is. It's going to be what it be. But at the end of the day, like with that being said, because we've come so far away from that, because we've strayed so far away from what our intended roles are, be it societal pressure, be it just our own wants and desires, whatever led us to this position. This is when we start to see kind of like chaos and confusion, people not understanding, what role they should play, or people saying, I'm an alpha this or I'm an alpha that. Like, just my personal opinion, not directing this at anybody, because I've heard so many women say this. Like, that's an oxymoron. Like, you're not, unless you're talking about an animal, which we're not animals, then I don't understand how you're talking about, how you even mentioning yourself in that way. I think as women, we miss an opportunity to truly thrive with our emotional, mental, and physical capacity. We miss the opportunity to thrive in the environment that we were put in because we're too busy trying to be something that we just weren't built for. We just weren't built for it. That's why it's confusing. That's why it doesn't make sense. That's why it's not natural. That's why we burnt out. That's why we tired. That's why we bitter. That's why we resentful. That's why we can't figure out why we in relationships and, ain't nothing really wrong with the man. He not perfect. We're not, none of us are, but we can't figure out why he just won't do it for us. But, we want to deal with the dude that, he got the 6, 6 and the 6, right? But he got the 6, 6 and the 6, 6 and a 6. But you, sis, you're a 1, 5 and a 4 and a possible. It's like we can't, it's all out of order. Who told you wanted that? Who told you wanted 666? What, the latest trend, the latest podcast, female rapper? Who told you that? You need to sit down and figure out what you want. What you actually want. Write that down. Figure that out. Then think about it. You're going to end up crossing out about 4 or 5 of those things because that's not actually what you need. And then you can be ready for marriage. Because until you really know what you want out here, all you're going to end up with is some dude that you don't even feel is worthy of your time, energy, or you even exercising your feminine energy. And that's a waste. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of space. I think that we pride ourselves on the wrong things. Like it's not a flex that you've been proposed to 11,000 times and you said no. I'm talking to the ladies now. That's not a flex. Like, why are you dating a man that you don't want to be with to the point where he proposed to you? Men don't just be proposing to people all around the place. Not the kind of man you want. So if a man proposed to you, baby, why are you even entertaining him to the level of a proposal if you really know that man ain't for you? He not for you. That's not a flex. That's confusion, ladies. You don't know what you want. Yeah, we should be dating with intention. Yeah, because you know what? You have fun with the person you intentionally dating. It ain't separate. You have fun with the person that you're intentionally dating. That's the whole point. Y'all build together. Y'all sup together. Y'all have fun. That's the point. The fun don't begin after y'all married. the the fun begins while y'all dating. That's the whole point. And shoot, if I can't have fun with you, then what we doing? Why we here?
Facts.
That's crazy to me. I don't understand it. And I guess maybe, Winfrey, maybe it's this generation. I don't get it. But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. If the generations of the past wasn't on to something, back when we had more marriages, when we had stronger communities, when we had more two-parent homes. If y'all want to say that was old and that was tired and that was, whatever that was, y'all so smart. Why haven't y'all figured it out? Why are we still in this mess that we in? Not men and women hate each other even more. Why y'all ain't figured it out yet? I mean, I think we need to. I'm all for let's take it back to the basics because we done messed up somewhere along the way, and now it's all chaos and confusion.
Real, that's real. And we appreciate that close. Let me go over to Winfrey. Winfrey, you still there, man?
Yeah, I'm here.
Anything you want to say before we get out of here, man?
Nah, I think I like what Chloe had to say. Yeah, I don't have anything following up that. Thanks for having me on.
All right, no doubt. No, appreciate you coming on, man. Appreciate you supporting the platform. Vince, what you got to say in closing, man?
Just want to say to Winifred, I have a 27-year-old son. And you sound so much like him. I just wish the best for you as a young man. To answer what's Chantel's question, I've been married for 3 years. This is my second marriage. I was married at 22. Had a daughter when I was 17. I married her mom, and we had a son at 22. And the marriage didn't even last long enough for her to change her last name. We never talked about, what we wanted in our marriage. We never talked about the things that I wanted from her as a wife, the things that she wanted from me as a husband. We just got married because we just couldn't leave each other alone. And we felt that we was in love and didn't know nothing about marriage. And I was single for 22 years. And then I met my wife and we got married and have a daughter who'll be 2 in September. I've been through everything that you can name except for prison. And I think that I have a lot to add to these conversations because yes, I am married, but I've been single a long time. I know what's going on out here in these streets. But then I also think that I've learned so much and being around a whole different culture. I think that's the things that trip me out because it don't take other cultures this long to get it together. I'm 50 with a 2-year-old, and I'm just now understanding about life and about marriage when I'm half near dead. My neighbor's 30s, young 30s, got it going on. When they have birthday parties, the whole block be filled with parents and aunties and cousins, all of them married in their 30s. Why we have to wait till we 50 to get it together? I don't, and that breaks my heart. That most of us, we wait too long. Why we gotta wait so long? 50, I'm 50 with a 2-year-old. I'm in the gym every day hoping that the Lord bless me with 30 more years. Thinking about why couldn't I do this 20 years ago? That's sad. And I hope my story inspires people to really get it together, to be intentional, to really get yourself together. Stop making excuses. Because we waste so much time.
Ooh.
I look at all the time that I wasted, and now I want it all back. I want it all back. Just give me half of it back, Jesus. So I can be here to see my daughter walk down the aisle. I can walk her down the aisle, pay for a whole wedding. Then I look at my grown kids, and I understand that I wish I could have been this father to them, where they wasn't all over the city, to grandmama, to auntie, to this one, to that one. And me and their mother was working like slaves, just trying to provide. I want us to get together, or just like Winifred. Take your time, bro. You're not in no rush. Get yourself together. Find out what you want. And don't settle for less. Don't settle, just, so I'll cut it off, Quay. Love
good,
y'all.
Man. Yeah, no, that's good, man. Like, so these are lessons, man. And to answer your question, man, the reason why this takes us so long, Vince, is because we ain't really been doing no work. Yep, I hear that term or that phrase so often. Yeah, I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work. No, you ain't. You ain't doing no work. Yeah, we got fellas out here not preparing to be husbands. Yeah, we got ladies out here not preparing to be wives. We out here playing. What Winfrey say, we out here, contributing P to the dating pool. We out here with all these conditions. We out here prioritizing this money over character and stuff that's important. We out here trying to chase these old bags that we ain't gonna never catch. Like, we so all over the place, but we nowhere near the stuff that's important. Yeah, but that's why it take us so long. Yeah, while everybody else out here locking in, like Vince said, starting early. Yeah, we trying to be at the club. We twerking at the Sunday brunch. While they over here locking in, vetting each other, getting married in their 20s, doing all type of stuff. Like I said, we out here in these streets trying to have fun, trying to YOLO. That's why it takes so long. Yeah, then we run out of time. We run out of time, then we try to make something work real quick, last minute. To your point, Vince, that's why we got all these, 40-year-old women talking about now they want to get married at 40. After all the other trauma they done been through, now they want to get married at 40. Yep, same with the fellas. We got fellas out here, 40, 45, you know what I'm saying? Now they want to get married after they've been playing over these females and what Chloe say, splitting cheeks, doing all this nonsense when it was fun. Now they want to get serious and get married. And the clock just done ticked right on past your prime. Right on past your prime. So man, we got to get serious out here. Yep, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Time waits for no one. Fellas, you ain't getting no younger. Ladies, you ain't getting no younger. Waits for no one. So we really gotta get that under control before we run out of time. Real talk. Because there's a such thing as running out of time. There is a such thing as hitting a wall. Yep. So if we want to pull our community back together, if we want to restore our relationships, if we want to get back on healthy terms between Black men and Black women, we really got to do some work. We got to do some self-exploration. We got to take some accountability for a lot of these bad decisions that we've been out here making. And the last thing is we got to slow down. We got to slow down and go through some process. All this instant gratification, all this, I got to have it yesterday. All this, I got to get this bag real quick. That mess ain't doing nothing but tearing us apart, literally breaking us down from the inside out. Man, let's get serious, man. We got work to do. So, man, shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. Like I said, we appreciate everybody in the comments. Comments was crazy tonight, man. Viewership was crazy tonight. Ladies tapped in extra big tonight, you know what I'm saying, showing love. Like I said, I appreciate all the comments. Erica Arrington, Shante Williams, Tweet Bill, Tony Sims. Man, this list so long. But like I said, I appreciate all the ladies dropping the comments. Shout out to my guy Kevin Palmer as well. Shout out to Winfrey. Shout out to Vince, Chloe, Nicole. We appreciate you guys rocking with the platform, supporting us Wednesday in, Wednesday out. Like I said, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, so definitely go check us out on YouTube as well at the Quay Price page. Drop a subscribe in your spare time. Help us grow our exposure. And man, with that being said, everybody have an awesome night, and we will catch you guys next Wednesday.